Good evening. Hi. Well, you all know who I am. I am astrologer and now channeler Penny Dix. And welcome to the live week ahead forecast with all sorts of interesting tidbits of information. Because hot news, hot news. If any of you have watched the video I launched on my other channel from last night with Sarah Sands Smith, which was is our channel called Channeling. Can't speak. Hang on, Channeling with Penny and Sarah. At the end, we talked about the fact that we saw the night before last what can only be described as a UAP, an unidentified aerial phenomena. Well, Sarah has just been messaging me before I've come online now, and it's there again, or something similar, near her house. I can't see it, and she sent me pictures, and when I expand it, it just looks like a kind of round thing with a line through it, like it's a craft of some description. That's all I can say. So all I can say is watch this space. If I suddenly dematerialize online, I've been zoomed up to the mothership. So super exciting. So I don't know what that's about. I'm waiting for Sarah to come round later, and we will discuss it and analyze the photographs. So let's see who's here. Good morning, Poonam. And Elsimi, you're particularly curious about November the 26th, which of course is when Mercury goes retrograde. And that is the main energies I'm going to talk about. So don't worry, that's coming in. And Liz the Iron Maiden, hi. Who else we've got? Earth of Seven. You've had non-stop rain all day in the UK and it's still going. Well, I guess the snow has stopped then. Yeah, it would be a great adventure. And I've had a really busy afternoon. Just let me tell you before we start. Well, we have started basically, but I had to record the new moon. Didn't have to, but I chose to record the new moon in Sagittarius, which is next Sunday. So next Sunday, which is the 1st of December, this live will actually be the live for the month ahead, including the week ahead. And then after I'd recorded the new moon in Sagittarius, which will be up in the next couple of days, and I'm not sure if I made a mess of it, but I think I got the general gist of it across, because sometimes it's very difficult to be objective about one's work. Then I did the overview for 2025, and it's an hour and a half long. And that's before I've done the individual zodiac signs, which will all be separate and time-stamped and linked in the description box. But the overview, there is so much going on next year. It was impossible to make it any tighter and shorter than I did. So good luck if you actually, any of you watch it and listen all the way through to the end. But who else have we got here? We've got Joey Trinker. Hi, Joey. Good morning from Arizona. Judy Sutton. Sime, all right, Alberta. Hey, Jem, thanks for your message. Oh, bless you. You loved the video with Sarah. For those of you that don't know or haven't seen it yet, I have this channel that I've just literally launched called Channeling with Penny and Sarah. And we did our first video last night. We recorded it and I uploaded it straight away. And it's basically just introducing the channel, introducing Sarah to you. And we will be talking about channeling. We will be channeling. We both channel a different kind of style of the blue light star beings, along with many, many other people, including Nancy Rebecca. And it's really interesting as people start to come out about all of this. And there are so many people. And I'm sure some of you watching are part of that kind of clan who are aware of these light beings. They may not be blue. They're not all blue. I'm seeing other colors now. I'm seeing reds and golden colors. But it's real and linked in with the unidentified aerial phenomena that we saw a couple of nights ago, and linked in with what Sarah has just seen tonight. I don't know what to make of it, but it's really interesting, because I think this is so Pluto in Uranus, because Uranus, which now we're going to be enjoying the energy of for so long, is well, it is about star beings, and it is about connecting. And I really do feel like the Hopi Indians have discussed that the star people are coming back, or will come back. I sound like I'm a complete loony. I just the different colors, different color beings. Yes, that some of the colors I'm seeing now are sort of reds and oranges. Hi, Parry. How lovely to see you here. Oh, thank you, Shirley. You loved the conversation that Sarah and I had. It's called Channeling with Penny and Sarah, and we've just done one video. And I will remember after this video, and I'll copy and paste a link to the channel and the video in the description box or in the comments. That would probably be the easiest way. But Pluto in Aquarius is going to bring up a lot of this kind of phenomena. And it's one of the things that I talk about in my overview for 2025. So Northeast England, Jan, hi. So is it cold? That's a silly question. I should think it's absolutely freezing. And I hope you're not snowed in. But Simi, you're asking about the 26th of November. And basically, that is the major aspect that is happening this week. And we are here to talk about the astrology. And so I'm going to talk about the astrology first. I'm going to be boundaried, and then I will drift off into perhaps some other little areas. I have a word for the week, and I also have the some information about the Hopi Indians and their prophecies and their interpretations of where we are on the timeline that they think we're on, because I researched it because of what we saw, Sarah and I saw, with this unidentified aerial phenomena. I still think UFO sounds far cooler, much more exciting. I don't know why they had to change the name, but there we go. So it's snowing in Scotland. Wow. Hi, Cheryl. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hi, Jan. It's cold, but no snow. Oh, okay. So yes, the Hopi. Yes, Jem. I'm going to talk about it in a minute. Hi, Steve. So tell me, how is the sound? Because tonight I've gone back to using the laptop, because if I use the mobile phone, I can't really see the live chat. And so it just makes it more difficult. So just let me know in the chat how the sound is, if it's going static or crackling, because it's fine, is it? Okay. Maybe the UAP hovering above me is helping that. Let's hope so. Sound is perfect. Thank you. Let's hope it stays like that. Let's have a look at this chart for Tuesday the 26th, because it really is quite interesting. Right. And thank you, Parry. The sound is good for you too. So I've got a chart in front of me of just before Mercury actually goes retrograde. Now, what's interesting, Mercury, as you might be aware, is in the sign at the moment of Sagittarius. And it's still basically opposite retrograde Jupiter in Gemini. Now, Gemini is the sign that Mercury rules. And Jupiter rules Sagittarius, where Mercury is. So we have this cross match, or kind of cross-pollination of energies from the ruler of the opposite sign to the ruler of the other opposite sign. And so it creates a tension and a kind of misalignment of energies. So the fact that they are still basically opposite, in opposition, so you've got this tension in the sky when Mercury goes retrograde. It kind of, I'm just looking at the chart, and Mercury in this chart, in this retrograde chart, is actually in the third house of communication. So even though in the chart it's a Sagittarius house, it's actually ruled by Gemini. So therefore, Mercury is ruling the house and of itself going retrograde. Mercury, as you know, is about ideas, communication. And you know, it's interesting with Mercury because one of the things that we forget sometimes is that Mercury is the only god that has access to both the overworld and the underworld, because Mercury is the messenger of the gods. So Pluto is the only god, if you like, that has access to the underworld. And the rest of the archetypes of the planets, you know, Jupiter, Zeus, Kronos, etc., are actually overworld gods. So, hi, Sue, freezing in England. Oh, gosh, sorry to hear that. So, Mercury is actually quite a special guy because he has this ability to be in the realm of the dead and the realm of the living. So let's hold that thought because I think it's quite an interesting thought. So Mercury's in Sagittarius. Sagittarius has that spiritual side to it where it takes us to these levels of higher frequency and that higher kind of octave of communication and learning, and you know, it's higher education. So it really is taking us up into the sort of the sixth form, if you like, or into senior school, or you know, let's say into university. So you feel like you're a bit between the dead and the living, Jen. Bless you. I'll tell you, I do after all the work I did this afternoon. Gosh. Well, I've booked a massage for tomorrow, so that'll help me. I just, oh gosh, a lot of work I've done today. Anyway, back to Mercury and Jupiter. Now, they're both retrograde. And Jupiter in Gemini. Jupiter, remember, is the planet that expands. It is also about opportunity. It's about luck. It is about well, it's a very fortunate, benevolent archetype. So in Gemini, it expands our thinking. Because it is going retrograde, and it is actually retrograde in the, well, it's still just in the ninth house of this chart. It's sometimes there can be a propensity towards overthinking. That can be a kind of shadow aspect of the sign of Gemini anyway. And Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. It's all right. I just heard, I think it's a plane. Oh, there's weird stuff going on. Okay, right. I'm back. So Jupiter, remember, retrogrades are about re-looking at. Second chance is Superman. Re-looking at, revisiting, rethinking. because Jupiter is in Gemini, thinking something through that you perhaps have. I tell you what I'm finding is that I've made a lot of decisions, or thought I had, and what's happening is I'm going back and I'm thinking, does that still sit right? Does that still actually feel like where I am or where I'm going or what I want to do? And so I'm finding the effect of Jupiter retrograde is making me really slow down and think about certain kind of decisions that potentially I was making, which maybe they're not actually what I should be doing at the moment in the short term, or maybe they are. I don't know. It'll become clear when these planets go direct. Now, Mercury goes direct on the 15th of December. So we've got basically, what's that, about 3 weeks of Mercury retrograde. Now, Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius is making us question our connection with spirit on some level. So there's also this kind of, hi, Andy, you've joined us. Fantastic. Really good to see you here. So Mercury is making us question lots of things that are a little bit outside of the normal kind of worldview, a little bit like the UAPs that Sarah keeps seeing and I keep seeing. She's now seen 3, and I've just seen 1. And so there's something about re-looking at these things and thinking about them and revisiting. So take this Mercury retrograde as a chance to actually slow your thinking down on many levels and layers, and think about what resonates most with you on an inner level. What resonates as your authentic truth? Because I don't know about you, but as you know, I've talked about this to several of you and to all of you because I've talked about it in a live, but I'm an oversharer. And people that overshare then sometimes will get what they want back because people will give them good guidance, but they'll also get people saying things that doesn't resonate, that we don't like, that we think, no, I don't like that. But then what happens is you start questioning yourself and you start thinking, maybe they know better than me, and give our power away. So what I'm saying is there is something about this Mercury retrograde where we have to be careful that where we need to reflect, have we given our power away? Are we thinking that another or others somehow can see or know what's best for us in our lives better than we know ourselves? It's just a thought to think about, because yes, Parry, slow down and listen deeply to the heart of our species in a healthy and loving manner. I like this, Parry, and we are all intertwined energetically, and we're in this together. Yes, with our own individual interests and attention. Liz, the Iron Maiden, you've given your power away recently. Reclaim it, honey. Get it back. Take it back. Just the fact that you've written it down now means you're in the process of taking back that power, taking back the control of a situation that you have let kind of run away with you. Thanks, Shirley. Yes, thumbs up. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and go to my other channel, Channeling with Penny and Sarah. Hit like and subscribe there as well. I'd be super grateful. And if you want to make a donation to the channel, which helps with all the technology and the time that gets spent preparing everything, I would be super grateful. I hate asking for things, but I thought I'm going to be brave and ask. So I'm asking. And you are absolutely under no obligation whatsoever. As you know, I don't have private membership. I don't do any of that, partly because I just don't see how anyone ever has the time to set these things up. So Poonam, giving your power away has been a constant lesson for you, working to take back your power. Yes, we have to, and this is Pluto in Aquarius. Take back your power. It is so important. I like that cosmic BL. Ask and you shall receive. But it was already done. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. I love that. And see me, you are as well. So then it seems to be a pretty pertinent kind of thought tonight. And I think that also there is something about the energy at the moment, which we're all picking up since Pluto moved into Aquarius, that we've also been giving our power away to the media. And we've been giving our power away to the people above us, the people that are apparently in charge. We've allowed ourselves, perhaps, to get a little bit dumbed down, kind of, just kind of, it's like we're walking through glue. We're not thinking for ourselves. We're not making decisions for ourselves based on the evidence in front of us. And it's bred a kind of collective, I think, of lack of respect for each other and a lack of the ability to listen, be non-judgmental, and debate, to say in a conversation or on a social media thread on Facebook, for example. I don't agree with the view that you have. These are my reasons for not agreeing, but I respect your view and your reasons for staying with that view. And that's something that I think we really need to reintroduce to life. Debate, respect, listening, active listening to each other, not always trying to get our agenda in. And actually, as much as I laugh about the oversharing, is it that I too have got dumbed down by listening to sort of the media and reading whatever it is I read on social media, so that I've given my power away to everyone in the sense that they must know and I don't. But who's to say that I don't know? Only me. And maybe I do know. And so maybe you actually know, and maybe what you have to do really with this Mercury retrograde is rethink your attitudes and way of communicating, your approach to your own inner spirituality, so that you can decide for yourself what is best for you, what is the best direction for you. You can decide whom is good for you in your life or whom is not good. In a sense, what I'm suggesting to you is that a lot of us have forgotten that we're supposed to be adults. And we've become dependent on a society and a worldview that has made us dependent. And because when we stand up to criticize that, it's not very pretty. So that even though in some countries peaceful demonstration and rebellion is permitted, but if you think about that, peaceful demonstration and rebellion is permitted. But that means we're still doing what we're told. Yes, we could argue it's because it's out of respect for others or for, social decency and boundaries. But, I think, and I'm just seeing that, Maria, you've also taken back your power. Your motto is, I'm queen of my castle, empress of my land, and goddess of my universe. That is beautiful. And that is Pluto in Aquarius. And we all need to be queens of our castles, or kings of our castles, empresses of our land, and we all need to be gods and goddesses of our universe and our lives. So I'm very glad, Liz, the Iron Maiden, that you don't do as you're told. That is brilliant, because this is also the sign of Aquarius, where Pluto is. And Pluto is currently, it's going to be in an ongoing wide trine to retrograde Uranus in Taurus. It is an out of sign trine because, of course, Pluto has moved into Aquarius. But my God, is Uranus using the power of Pluto to wake us up and transform us, to say enough is enough. And, I think there will be many, many more astrologers, intuitives, channelers, speakers, teachers that use these social media platforms like YouTube or TikTok or Rumble and say it how it is, in an attempt to not only through the teaching of it wake themselves up, because by teaching it, we learn it. So you need to teach others. So whatever you pick up here that resonates, that you may not already be doing, teach it to others. Teach it to your family, to your children, to your friends, because it's only by passing all of this on that we can get the collective consciousness to a point where we get the tipping point of change, and we shift the planet onto a timeline of peace, love, harmony, no war. We do not give that energy. We have to allow that vibration and frequency to rise up. So what I would like to suggest is that with this Pluto trining Uranus and the Mercury retrograde opposite Jupiter retrograde, that we rethink our own selves and how we come across and how we talk to people. Jan, you took back your power in August, didn't like the way your new boss was taking things in the company, so you left. Well done. Granted, you were lucky enough to be in a position to do so, but you feel so much better. Yeah, you set yourself free. Cosmic BL, what are you saying? Thought that Leo, Scorpio and Aquarius Cup would be tugging with Pluto's new position, but no, we're actually finding even more common ground. That's really interesting, Cosmic BL. Yes. I think that is going to be a kind of ongoing kind of Happyville. Yes, we want the world to become Happyville. And, just while we're doing that, I just want to bring up this information I found yesterday when before I did the talk with Sarah, I was looking up about the Hopi Indian history and their teachings and their prophecies, because let me see if I can find it. Okay, because this is really interesting, because I do think that these ancient civilizations, of which the Hopi prophecies and the Hopi people were and are, had a connection with Gaia, planet Earth, and the star beings and the cosmos that we've lost touch with. And one of the things that the Pluto energy in Aquarius, and remember it's right at that beginning degree of Aquarius, so it's giving it much more supercharged energy for us to kind of collectively awaken and think, right, enough of this. We are, we are not just single little cells scuttling around doing our own little things. We are dualities. We are a collective. We are part of the divine mind of the universe. We are part of the collective energy of the divine mind, of the divine intelligence. We are all interconnected by a kind of psychic interweb. So the four worlds that the Hopi prophecies talk about, the Hopi speak of humanity having passed through three previous worlds, with the current world being the fourth. Each previous world ended in cataclysm due to humanity's imbalance with nature and the divine. Where are we now? In imbalance with nature and the divine. I will continue. The first world was destroyed, they say, by fire, possibly by volcanic activity or celestial impacts, such as asteroids hitting the planet. The second world was destroyed by ice, a great freeze, or a glaciation. And if you think of Veda Austin's work with water and how she describes it as a living consciousness, and if water at that point chose to freeze, it was as if it was putting itself into hibernation until such a time as the world or the planet woke up again to renew itself and start again, which it did with the third world. And then that was destroyed by a deluge of great floods. And I guess, we can say that kind of links in with, Noah's Ark and the Great Flood. And I'm sure it is Graham Hancock, who's done the Ancient Apocalypse series, does talk about that geologically, when they cut down slices into the earth to look at the different layers of earth and stone and everything, they can see when and date when there was a great flood, when basically almost the whole planet was submerged in water. We are now, according to the Hopi Indians, in the fourth world. The current world, which the Hopi believe is also at risk due to humanity's disharmony with nature and the cosmos. And what the Hopi Indians said is the transition to a new world often involves guidance from celestial beings, sometimes interpreted as star people or spiritual guardians. Now, I find that super, super interesting. And I think that they even talk about the blue star Kachina prophecy, which was another key element of Hopi prophecy. And this blue star Kachina will appear in the heavens as a sign of great change. And its appearance will mark the beginning of the great purification. I think as I'm reading this, I'm thinking, oh my God, I sound like a cult leader. I do not want to, that is not what I am intending at all. I'm just super excited because I think that this energy and the fact that we are reaching a point where the ancient star people, or the, shall we say, advanced future and present star people, are maybe actually connecting with us already, like through people like Nancy Rebecca, myself, through Sarah, and many, many others, many others. And, you know, the star people were also connected to the Mayans and the Aztec traditions, the Australian Aboriginals, and the Dogon people of Mali. And so we are being given a wonderful opportunity with Pluto in Aquarius to grow up, to be free, to change the whole way that we have been living with the old kind of order of, you know, control and government and hierarchy. What's this, Parry? Chief Joseph White Eagle is the amazing and so informative Hopi chief. Wow, that's fabulous. You've heard, Punam, you've heard a lot about White Eagle. I will have to Google that myself, because I'm not aware of White Eagle. But coming back to the astrology, because I've only touched the tip of the iceberg of Tuesday the 26th. You see how I digress and get carried away, but there is something about the aspects happening on Tuesday which give me a feeling of great hope. And there's a sense, because the sun is actually in Sagittarius, as we know. So happy birthday to any Sagittarians out there. And I hope you have a lovely, lovely solar return. And remember, if anyone wants to book a natal chart transit reading with me, a follow-up reading, if you've already had a natal chart reading, just email me at penny@pennydix.com. The email is on my website, which is pennydix.com. I've closed the booking system because I was getting too discombobulated by it. My brain couldn't cope with the unpredictability of it. So I took back my power and took control of my booking system. So coming back to this chart, the sun is trining Neptune. And Neptune, of course, is retrograde in Pisces. Now, a trine is a helpful aspect. Joey, your birthday is December the 22nd, before sunrise. So do you fall into Sag or Cap? Because you're right on that kind of cusp, aren't you? So be interesting to sort of to look at your chart, because of course that's kind of the winter solstice. So a very powerful, significant point in time. So the sun is trining Neptune. The sun is our heart, our soul, oh, bless you, Shirley Murray. Thank you so much, my love. I really, really appreciate. The cats will love it. They're addicted to treats and dreamies and little crispy things. And I've got one cat who's totally OCD, and he has to have them at the same time each day in the same place in a little heap. He can't have them spread. They have to be in a heap. And sometimes he will actually take them from my hand. But anyway, I digress. Back to the sun trining Neptune. So the sun trining Neptune is giving us it again, because the sun is in Sagittarius and Neptune is this planet that really raises up its energy to Neptune is being psychic, it's being intuitive, but it's sometimes not being clear. We can't always see clearly, or we doubt what we see and know. And what I want to remind you of is that we have to remember that it's the first thought. The first thought that comes in our intuition, gut feeling mind is the true thought. So remember that. And the sun trining Neptune is saying whatever comes back to you, whatever you start thinking about. Thank you, Shirley. I appreciate you too, all of you. And so the sun really is saying, it's giving this energy to Mercury and saying, relook at things, relook at your intuitive feelings, and have some faith in the abilities that we all have to be telepathic, to be psychic, to know stuff, to manifest, to just know with no shadow of doubt that the divine has your back. So what else have we going on? Well, good old Lilith is right on the ascendant in Libra. So not quite sure what to make of that. Libra, anyway, is relationship. And of course, Libra is also about harmony and balance. And so actually what Lilith is saying here is about getting the balance between light and dark, yin and yang, masculine and feminine. You see, what has to crumble is the patriarchy and the matriarchy. And what has to rise up is the divine masculine, which has its connection with its own inner divine feminine, as does the divine feminine that has its own connection to the divine masculine. Thank you, Liz, Iron Maiden. I'm so glad they are resonating for you. So Lilith is reminding us on the ascendant to be aware of our shadow through this retrograde phase till it's really till the new year, because remember, Mercury will be in its shadow zone way beyond, all through Christmas and New Year. So even though it goes direct on the 15th, it will still be in its shadow. And the moon is actually in Libra in the 7th house, and it is making a wide trine to Pluto in Aquarius, as is the south node in Libra. And remember, the nodes, the north node and the south node, are preparing to move next year into Virgo and Pisces, so that next year we only get one eclipse in Aries and the rest are all in Virgo or Pisces. But more of that when you watch my overview. And the moon conjunct the south node, trining Pluto. There's something here about, the answers deep within. You know the truth of what decisions are best for you. And this Mercury retrograde is giving you the opportunity to think back and actually make those kind of, be certain. Make your decision, and having thought it through and done your pros and cons and goods and bads and all of that and looked at it, and maybe this time we do it differently and we don't overshare and discuss it with everyone, because it dilutes the energy. If seeds are growing and we keep putting back the earth to see if they're growing, they won't. They'll wither and die. And isn't it interesting how if we tell our stories or our ideas or our projects too widely, too freely, too quickly, we often never actually do them or follow them through. So there's something about this Mercury retrograde which is saying, go back and review ideas, projects, plans you've got. And if you want to still initiate them, then tweak them, keep quiet about them, and with the energy of the new moon, which is next Sunday, December the 1st, actually transform it. So Saturn in this chart, in Pisces, that always helps to slow us down, is squaring Jupiter in Gemini, that is retrograde. Saturn is now direct. So they're moving up to being almost an exact Saturn-Jupiter square. They are opposite kind of energies, so they pull against each other. And what we have to do is really take the advice of Saturn to slow down with the plans and the ideas and the excitement we have over what we're doing. And know that if things take time due this retrograde or during this retrograde period, take that as just a slowing down from the cosmos, that the cosmos is just putting on the brakes and saying, slow down because you're going to overshoot your destination. And you need to arrive at the right time at your destination. Chiron, our centaur, which is known as the wounded healer, the space object that I always think represents that inner trauma, that inner wound that we all carry. And, you know, maybe even from birth. Chiron is on the descendant in the 7th house. Use this time with Mercury retrograde to repair relationships and bring some healing discussion into relationships that have fallen by the wayside, because it does not suit where we are moving towards. If we're moving towards collective respect and no judgment of each other, then not liking, hating, disagreeing, and just cutting people off is not helpful. Now, I add a caveat to that because sometimes we have people that come into our lives who can only be described as toxic. Now, they are not your problem. They are on their path. It is not your job to fix them. But sometimes we have to actually withdraw from the toxicity of others because it is their path to work out how to heal themselves. And they will be threatened and be envious of the light and the power that you radiate. So that is the sort of the caveat with, you know, we can't be love, light and sparkles to everyone. Energy vampires, yes, see me. Energy vampires, exactly, Liz, the Iron Maiden. We can't. And at the end of the day, we have to actually protect ourselves and look after ourselves. Take care of our own energy. Ground ourselves. I'm not doing any work on astrology tomorrow because I've done so much today in terms of videoing the new moon in Sagittarius, which will be up in the next couple of days, and recording the overview for 2025. But that won't be up until I've done all the 12 zodiac signs. And I think it'll take over the next 2 weeks for me to get that completed, because I'm gonna bring this to a close, because what I want to do is talk about hang on, where am I going? There we are. I want to give you the word for the week. This was actually recommended or suggested by one of you in one of the Astrobites. And the Astrobites will come back, but not till January. And they will not be every day, because Penny's learned that if I do it every day, I get burnout. And I have to get harmony and balance into my life as well. So I will be doing probably, I'm going to aim for 2 a week. That is my plan. And try and keep them a little bit shorter, because I noticed what was happening was they were getting longer and longer and longer. So wait till you see the overview. Hour and a half. I sat here for an hour and a half and talked about 2025. I didn't catch breath. I probably won't even watch it back until it's uploaded, because I don't think I can. Anyway, the word for the week is Epiphany. I thought that was quite a good one. So, yes, thank you, Simi. I have to take care of me first. And after I'd done the overview today, I went and lay on the bed for an hour, and I did actually sleep for about probably 15 minutes, but I am exhausted. So I'm going to start bringing this to a close. So the word for the week is Epiphany. Is that a holiday? It is after Christmas. Epiphany falls on I think it's the 6th of December, but my Christian or Catholic friends that might be listening would probably know better than me, because I'm not. I think it's the 6th, and I think it is the date that you're supposed to take all your Christmas decorations down. January, I'm talking about. It's the date you're supposed to take all the decorations down. But Epiphany is a realization. It's a sudden realization. And I suppose, and I don't know, but maybe the reason it was used with regard to the nativity story and Christmas is because it was a kind of sudden realization. Because, you know, the 3 magi, the 3 wise men, who of course were actually astrologers, followed a star. Was it a star being, craft, that took them to Bethlehem, to where the baby Jesus had been born? So there's an unknown quote here. I'm just going to give you some of the quotes before I bring this to a close. But there's an unknown quote here, which is, "And then the truth hit me like a lightning bolt. Clarity is not something you find. It's something you create." Now, I think that fits in with what I was talking about today, with reclaiming your power and actually being aware of how to make your own decisions, not check them out with everyone. And, you know, there's another one here by Anaïs Nin, a realization about the power of choice and bravery. Life shrinks or expands in proportion to one's courage. Interesting. And we have Socrates, who said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." And, you know, when people live in lack of awareness throughout their whole life, they usually are pretty depressed and do not kind of, I think, gain the insight and the amazing wonders of the cosmos and the divine. Albert Einstein said, "We can't solve problems by using the same kind of thinking we used when we created them." That's quite an interesting one, isn't it? We can't solve problems by using the same kind of thinking we used when we created them. Change your thinking, you change your life. Change your friends, you change your life, because sometimes those friends you change weren't friends at all. And another unknown quote is, "Sometimes the most profound truths are the simplest ones we've ignored all along." The Dalai Lama said, happiness is not something ready-made. It comes from your own actions. And you know, it's a choice. I remember quite a few years ago, going back about 10 years ago, remember when Pharrell Williams brought out that record or song, that dates me, the track, Happy. And I think it was actually from a film, wasn't it? I decided to play it every morning when I woke up, dance around the room, and just choose to be happy. And I did that for quite a few weeks, probably months. Since then, it's like I reprogrammed the neural pathways in my brain. I just retrained my brain to be happy. It doesn't mean I don't have problems, anxieties, concerns, fears, doubts, but I've chosen to be happy. Thank you, Jem, Epiphany, Florence Scoville Shin. Yes. And Rumi said, you do not need to seek freedom in a different land, for it exists within your own soul, which is the same as the T.S. Eliot lines, which go, and at the end of all our searching, we arrive where we started, but we know the place for the first time. Rumi also said, you are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. I love that. And you know what? On that note, I'm going to finish. I'm going to bring tonight to a close. I want to say thank you so much for all of you for being here. I love reading your chat, and I love that so many of you are here. Please remember to do all the like, commenting, and subscribing. And it is a magical song, isn't it, Maria? And yes, loads of love to all of you. Purple is your favorite color, Poonam. It's a beautiful color. It's a royal color. And of course, it's the, which one is it? The crown chakra? And then there's another chakra above it, because there's a chakra in your aura that I've forgotten. Oh, Till, you're here. I'm so pleased to see you here. I really am. Thank you, Susan. Yes, I'm looking forward. And yet, choose to be happy this week, everyone. Choose to make Mercury retrograde a time for reflection, a time to rethink your way through your issues, problems, self. Have a look at your inner self. And you know what also? Please love you. Please love you. I love you. So why can't you love you? I love me. And at the end of the day, that's all there is. We need someone to love us, and we need to have someone to love. So, yes, I love these Sundays. Thank you, Poonam. I'm really, really happy you're here. And I look forward to seeing you next week for the live month ahead, which will be December the 1st, coinciding with the new moon in Sagittarius. So I really do love you all. Bless you for being here. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now. Bye, guys.